Yo guys, what's up? It's Teacher's Game 2 coming at you again with another video, and as you can see, ARK has released its newest update today. Now obviously they didn't give you too much, however there's a couple of things that if you were paying close attention to that are inside this video that you might be like, oh, well, that's interesting. Now, first and foremost, if you go to their website and you want to watch this by yourself, go ahead and go to the ARK community forums. As you can see, literally just type in survivetheark.com and it pulls up here. There is no official update, as you can see right now, and this is not going to be a long video. I just want to show you a couple things that I noticed that you might want to, including something about, well, this in general. So we're going to go ahead and check that out real quick. So without further ado, let's go ahead and X out of this guy. I'm going to kind of walk you through this thing. Sorry if I sound a little bit funny. I am a little bit sick right now, so that's why I sound a little bit groggy. So anyways, as you can see, a little bit loud, I'm sorry. I'm kind of trying to talk with it here. But as he opens his eyes, and right there. So you can see right here, this is the Deus Ex skin, or Dos Ex, whatever you want to call it. There's a lot of different ways to call it, but this is a skin. So this is something that they were alluding back to when they released all their updates. I don't know if you remember them. It was a while ago when the Deus Ex skins were available, and they actually released those alongside all of the tech creatures. So maybe this finally means we're going to have a full set of tech creatures. I don't know, it's just a theory. But this is that Deus Ex skin that you were looking at. Now, she also says that others need her, so she is going somewhere else, and gives you this unusual looking toy thing, if you want to call it that. And it's a really weird comparison. But let me go back here for a second. It's almost identical to Halo because you've got the Cortana-like figure here that's kind of like talking to you, and then you get like the little thing over your shoulder. Now that's just a weird Halo reference for those of you that have played that. It's awesome. You should if you haven't. But it's very weird that she's giving that to you. Now here's the weird thing. A lot of people were assuming instantaneously that this was going to be a solo player thing. However, you can already see right here that it is not. These are actually new maps for sure that they are going to be releasing, because you have the 1 survivor, 2 survivor, 3 survivor. There isn't a 4th up there that I can see. However, it's possible that there is, and they're fighting obviously the Megapithecus. So this is a multiplayer mode, which is going to be kind of cool. Now, another thing, right here, there are 2 types of maps apparently. There's going to be an ice map, which is part of this, and there's going to be a fire map that they're releasing, and I'll kind of show you that later in the video as well. But you can see that they keep a lot of the basic creatures. You got the mammoth, but it looks like there's some sort of updated saddle on this thing. It looks a little bit funky up top, which is kind of interesting because the mammoth saddles don't have that. And then obviously you have the dire wolves, which are kind of cool as well. And then you got the other, obviously another 3 survivors, so it means it's a multiplayer map. Now this is another curious one that I'm hoping is actually released into the game. I'm sure you've heard many times before, they introduced a mode where you can be the wildlife, and you can have the babies in the wild and all this stuff. Now it's entirely possible that this person is just raising these things. However, this is a baby raptor. This is not a baby otter. This is a full-grown otter. And I'm wondering if they are going to have actual babies in the wild, because you hear the empathy talk right here. And it's entirely possible, well, I think it's entirely possible that they introduce that. We'll see. I think it's a little bit of a theory, but we'll see. Now here's where she gives you your little thing, which is, and this is where the first little tidbit of help gets. So he releases a whole bunch of little emoticons, and I'll kind of try and slow this down so you can see here. He's got the warning signal, death signal, thumbs up signal, a food signal, and a couple other ones. As you can see, there's the thumbs up signal. So I'm wondering if he's got some sort of communication system, like some sort of system you can use. And obviously you get boosted down, and you land in this giant death volcano. This is not the island volcano. For anyone that thinks it is, it is not. It is not the same shape. There's a lot of differences to it. And then they introduce you to the first creature, which is right in front of you. Now, I can't tell you, but it looks almost identical to a rock drake, and they just reskinned it. So maybe this is some sort of like fire drake, which would be super cool. Can't tell for sure, but it's impossible that that's a creature of some sort of a there. Not entirely sure. And then obviously this lava flow right here, which is really neat as well. So check out this though. It's some sort of warning signal. So this thing, if it in this new update that they're releasing, this kind of goes with you. How cool would it be if you have a warning signal like, oh man, I'm about to get destroyed by this thing. Now, here's the weird thing. A lot of people didn't catch this. However, inside this video, right here, it shows you this is the second map they're going to release. You'll hear it right about now. Maybe not this one first. And then whatever this little device is right here takes you here, and they give you that little warning insignia because there's a cute little jerboa looking thing that is not cute and spicy at all, but it's kind of cool because this goes back into the fire and ice signals. They're two different maps that they're going to release, so it kind of goes into that fire and ice. If you never read the poem by Robert Frost, really good, by the way. However, that being said, this is the first one they're going to release because say, oh, maybe we should go here first. Now, is that guaranteed? Obviously not. We're speculating at this point. However, they tend to release little tidbits like that in their video, and that kind of shows you what's entirely possible. And then obviously this thing eats something, and then it goes to this warning signal of giant weird death bot, which is kind of terrifying. And then it goes full, like ARK is moved totally away from dinosaurs and is now onto this fantasy world, which is fine by me. I'm totally cool with that. And it's almost like this monster hunter world because you see you develop these cool, funky little blades. These don't exactly look like the tech swords at all. They're just things you get. I have no idea what that means. Maybe it's going to be some sort of campaign mode, which would be really neat. I don't think they'll do that, but it's entirely possible. Obviously, you can see this thing is not like any creature we've seen before. It's terrifying. So maybe it's something you can like turn to like a little cute werewolf thing that just goes evil on you. But we'll see. Now, obviously, you go to fight that thing, and then they kind of show you the little new ARK insignia, which means it is a new map because every time they release a new map, they release this new ARK insignia. And here's why I think in the video, excuse me, I got a little bit of sickness. But as you can see, let me back up like 2 seconds here so you can get a little bit brighter. As you can see right here, what I'm trying to tell you is look at how this thing is set up. It looks just like a tech dino. Now, if you didn't notice this already, when they released the Deus Ex skins, they released a whole bunch of tech dinos. That's when they started releasing all that stuff. Now, that was like 2 years ago-ish. However, it was a while ago. Now, that being said, this right here looks like a giant tech dinosaur, and I'm thinking there's a chance they add a few more tech dinos in, which would be really sweet. I'm really hoping they do something like that, and you can kind of see like this DNA looking stuff all around. I'm hoping that's part of it. We'll see. And then here's the next important thing. You can kind of see this thing as some sort of like tame, and it's just chasing your cosmetic pet, which is interesting because that insinuates there might be some sort of campaign mode. You got the part 1 and part 2. This one is an unknown part. I don't really know what it's supposed to look like, but again, I think it's this ice world first because she said, oh, let's go here first. But that's just, in my opinion, what might happen. And that's, I think that December 2019 is really early to release a map. That's only like 5 months away, which is crazy to think about because, I mean, 4 months away now at this point, which is nuts to think about. And then release another one in the winter of 2020, which means that they're going to be continuing this game for a while, which is pretty freaking cool. Now, hopefully you enjoyed this. This is just a little bit of my review on this. Again, I don't normally do this, but I just thought it'd be kind of fun to a little bit of skepticism, I suppose you could call it, some conspiracies of what could happen. And it shows they're kind of like, they're putting some more stuff into the game that's unique, which is awesome. It's always fun to have more new content. If you have any opinions, theories, stuff like that yourself, I'd love to comment, love to talk about that. I will have my community page up and running later on today. And if you want to leave some comments down on the community page down below, it'd be awesome. Anyways, other than that, Teacher's Game 2, out.